Chapter 3 ended on a question. Are these 5 records even the same person? In the United States, there is no answer key. There is no national patient ID. HIPAA actually called for one back in 1996, but a congressional funding ban added in 1999 has blocked it ever since, so decades later, it still does not exist. So every dataset simply invented its own ID. To the hospital, you are a medical record number. To the insurer, you are a member ID. To the pharmacy, someone else entirely. Which makes the foundational question of this whole industry deceptively simple. Is this the same person? Almost everything else is built on top of the answer. With no shared key, you match on the identity clues you do have. Name, date of birth, sex, address, part of a social security number. There are 2 ways to do it. The first is deterministic matching. Deterministic means exact agreement on a chosen set of fields, often a hash of them. If it all matches, it's the same person. Fast and precise. But it's brittle. One typo, a maiden name, a missing apartment number, and the same person looks like 2 complete strangers. The second is probabilistic matching. Instead of all or nothing, you score how similar 2 records are across every field, weighting the rare fields more. If the total score clears a threshold, you call it a match. Now messy, real-world data finally links, but you are making judgment calls, not lookups. And every judgment call lives on one dial. Turn it too loose and you overmatch. 2 different people merged into one record. In healthcare, that's the wrong person's allergies, the wrong diagnosis, a real patient safety event. Turn it too tight and you undermatch. You split one real person into fragments and the longitudinal record you were trying to build quietly falls apart. There is no setting that eliminates both at once. Every linkage system in the world is just a chosen point on this dial. And where you put it is not a technical detail. It is a risk decision, clinical, legal, and financial, that you make on purpose. But there's a catch. To match on name, birth date, and social security number, you'd have to ship the most sensitive data a person has between companies. That's a privacy disaster waiting to happen. The solution is tokenization. Before any identity data leaves the source, it is run through a one-way cryptographic hash into an irreversible token. The name goes in, a meaningless string comes out, and you cannot reverse it back to the person. 2 different companies, holding data on the same individual, will independently produce the very same token, without ever exchanging the raw identity. So they can match on tokens, confirm it's one person, and connect the records, while the actual name and social security number never move. This is privacy-preserving record linkage, and it's the model companies like Datavant and HealthVerity built an industry on. Be the neutral layer everyone trusts to tokenize. Now step back and see what you've built. 5 fragmented single-source datasets from Chapter 2. Claims, EHR, pharmacy, labs, devices, each about a different-looking ID. Tokenize them all, match on tokens, and they collapse into one thing, a single longitudinal record of one real person across every setting they touched. That linked record answers questions no single source ever could. Did the drug prescribed in the clinic actually get filled at the pharmacy? And did the outcome finally show up in the claims a year later? And that is the whole game. Linkage is the product. Whoever can safely connect the same person across sources owns the single most valuable asset in health data. The linkage layer isn't a vendor, it's infrastructure. The connective tissue is worth more than any single organ. So you can now design a linkage strategy. Deterministic or probabilistic? Where do you set the dial? Do you tokenize, and whose tokens do you trust? This is the single most decisive architectural choice in any patient data business. Get it right, and everything downstream becomes possible. Get it wrong, and you own a pile of expensive, disconnected fragments. But notice what tokenization and matching are really touching. Identity, the most regulated substance in this entire field. The method you choose doesn't just shape your data quality, it quietly decides what you are legally allowed to do with any of it. Chapter 5. Privacy, Law, and De-identification. The chapter that keeps you out of jail.